From Little League to the big leagues and everywhere in between. From one stage to another. Passion is my middle name. I'm J.J. Davis. This is In Focus. Last time I saw this guy, he was a teenager. His mother screaming her lungs out at the National Gold Gloves. And his trainer, one of them anyway, since gone now. Sitting across from me in this corner is the pride of Omaha, Terence Allen Crawford. But many know him as Bud. Yours truly used to call him the Budman way back when. Well, looky who it is. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Oh, listen, you're still the same. You're just always so low-key. I mean, you're big time now. You travel the world. Everybody knows you. How's that head of yours? Still on straight?
Oh, definitely. I'm still the same Bud that you knew back then.
Really?
Definitely.
I mean, but how many weight classes have you unified? What's it, 3?
4.
Oh, 4. Yeah. What'd I miss?
You miss lightweight probably.
There's so many, Bud. When you think of what all you've done, has it set in yet, even now?
Sometimes I take the time to sit down and reflect on my career and all the accomplishments that I got, and just sit back and be like, wow.
Right.
I didn't expect all of this, coming into the game of professional. I was just wanting to be a world champion. That was always my dreams and goals ever since I was a little kid, is just be called champion, because once you're a world champion, they can never take it away from you.
Your dad used to say, you're going to be my $1 million baby.
Mm-hmm.
What do you remember, earliest memories of growing up on Larimore Street?
Oh, I remember, putting the gloves on, boxing people in front of the house, running from my house all the way up Ames Street, all the way around the golf course, and everybody honking at me and things like that, and me, riding my bike from my house to the gym.
That's right.
Whatever I had to do to get to the gym, I was doing it. So I remember all those memories.
You grew up in a house of ladies, right? Your mom, Deborah, your older sisters, Shawty, Letitia, your grandmother, Velma, who you used to call
Pee-wee. Still do.
That's right. One of your aunts, Jackie, who you loved, who died years ago. How did that influence you?
Well, they was tough, Even though they was girls, they was tough girls. We fought and they beat me up, and, things like that, and it was cool, when you can have somebody to depend on when you leave the house, because even though they beat me up when I was younger, they wouldn't let nobody else touch me. So I walk the neighborhoods, I go to school and things like that. And if I had any problems, I'll tell my sisters and they'll come running. So it was a good feeling to know that, no matter how they treat you or no matter what they do, you can call on them at any time.
The feeling for your father, you've gone on record as saying that you loved him. When he used to leave, you'd cry. You'd hit his hands when you were just like 2 years old. Tell me about the love and the relationship with your dad.
Oh, me and my dad, we got a good relationship. I moved him back to Omaha because I wanted to be close to him. But, when I was younger, it was painful because I wanted my father there.
Right.
And when he was in town, everything was just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like, for that split moment of the days that he was there, everything was like cloud nine. And then when he leave, it was like, a rainstorm just hit my heart. So I used to just flip out like, man, Dad, you just got here. Right. It's like I go back to work. So I was just like torn because it always was just like 2 or 3 days and then you got to go.
Right. Your dad was a wrestler and you wrestled. What weight?
I think I was wrestling at like 106, 112. You know, I was small. I actually quit. Well, I didn't initially quit.
Oh, here we go. Story time. Story time with Bud Crawford, the Budman. What?
I got kicked out of school, Monroe Middle School, in the 7th grade. So at that time, there was no more wrestling.
Did you get kicked out of school times?
I don't even know. I don't even keep track, to be honest.
You graduated from Omaha, Brian.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
What's that mean to you?
It meant a lot because a lot of people counted me out. They doubted me. They didn't think that I was going to, you know, finish school.
Right.
A lot of people thought I was going to be a statistic to the streets.
Right.
A lot of people thought I was going to be dead in jail. A lot of people had this negative persona of who I was.
Right.
So to be able to accomplish that first goal and graduating was like, all right, boom. Now what? Aha, I graduated. All y'all said that I wasn't, I graduated. Aha. So the next chapter in my life was becoming a world champion, you know, and a lot of people told me I had to move out of town. I had to change my coaches. I had to do this. I had to do that to be successful. I couldn't be in Omaha.
Right.
And that was my goal.
Does the name Carl Washington mean anything to you?
Yeah, Carl started it all because without Carl, you know, talking to that little kid running around the neighborhood, being bad, who knows if I would have ever gone into the sport of boxing.
You actually went on record as saying that he saved you.
Well, you know, like I said, without him introducing me into the sport of boxing, I don't know if I would have ever got into the sport of boxing because, yes, my dad used to box for him.
Right.
My uncle used to box for him.
Right.
My grandpa used to box, but none of them ever told me as a little kid that they used to box. It was all wrestle, wrestle, wrestle. So at the time, I didn't know nothing about boxing. I just liked to fight. So who knows if, you know, they would have introduced it to me later on in life.
Right.
But at the age of 7, you know, Carl was the one that introduced me to boxing and introduced me to my first coach, Larry Lil John, and alongside of Midge Minor.
Your mom, tough love, she would force you to go out and defend yourself in the streets?
Well, I wouldn't say force me to go out and defend myself in the streets because by all means, she was...
I love your mom.
Yeah, she was
She's a firecracker, man.
She was keeping me out the streets, but when you think about it, like all the little kids in the neighborhood and I'm this big bad little kid, she like, you know, let me see if somebody can whoop him, you know, because I know I got the baddest little kid in the neighborhood, so I'll pay you $5 if you can whoop him.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So it's like, she like, hey, you think you can whoop him? I'll give you $5 if you can whoop him. So me looking at it as a little kid, I'm looking at it from a whole negative way. I'm like, my mom trying to pay them to give them $5 to beat me up. Man, I'm about to whoop this dude. Like, man, she got me messed up. He ain't gonna whoop me in front of my mama.
But I'm gonna ask you an honest question. Were you scared?
No, I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared at all. Because I knew I could fight. That's the thing. And I did feel like I was the baddest, you know, little kid running around. So, you know, the things was, boy, somebody gonna whoop your butt. Man, you can't whoop everybody. Somebody gonna whoop your butt. You know, and me being little, I'm like, man, they ain't gonna do nothing. They ain't gonna do nothing. You know, and, you know, her knowing her son, she knew she had a bad son. She like, man, that boy bad, but, you know, he could back it up. So.
Well, you take your bad self to the gym, CW Boxing Club. I remember Midge, he would walk in his office, remember, Bud?
Yes.
It would be up on like a platform looking down at the gym, and he always gave Bud crap. He always used to say, I beat your, remember old Midge?
Yeah. I remember when, I first came in the gym when he kicked me out. And I come in there and he cussing at me.
I remember.
Things like that. And I'm like, man, you ain't my mama, you ain't my daddy, you ain't about to be cussing at me. And he like, what? I talk to y'all, I want to talk to you. And if you don't like it, you can get the hell out. And I'm like, man, I'm going to go tell my daddy. And he like, go tell your daddy. And I tell him I said it. Go tell him. So it was just like, what can you do? When you tell your parents and them, and they like, well, you shouldn't have been bad.
That's right.
It was just, something to grow up to.
Did Midge take you under his arm, so to speak? Helped you get to school? Just kind of watched over you a little bit?
I won't say it helped me get to school. That was all me and my mom and them doing. But, sometimes when I got in trouble, she'll call Midge. Hey, Midge, pick Bud up from the house. Right. Or it got to a point where Midge used to always come get me from the house after school. And, just make me watch boxing tapes and stuff. I'd be over there like, kind of like a punishment. Like, man, I do not want to be watching boxing. So I'm just sitting there watching boxing. And then, just learning, like, right. as mad as I used to be,
right,
watching them, I'm glad that I did, because all those things that I was watching, the moves, the styles, it helped me in today's life.
Sugar Ray Robinson,
right.
Sugar Ray Leonard, went on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you learn from those guys? I used to say Sugar Ray Leonard's one of the best finishers I ever saw. When he got a guy in trouble, it was over.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. When you look at Sugar Ray Robinson, there's not too much videotape on him, and the tape that is, it's kind of missing frames. Mm-hmm. So you really can't get a real glimpse of how great he was. Mm-hmm. So you just see, from the styles, how they evolved.
Right.
When you look at Sugar Ray Robinson and all those fighters of the past,
different
and then
era.
You look at fighters now,
right,
we all have even more skills,
right,
than the fighters that came before us. But the thing is, they was just tougher.
Right.
It was just tougher, and they was more determined.
It was a different era.
Yeah.
Guys would just go toe to toe. The sport, like every sport, has evolved.
Yeah, like when you look at, 6 ounces of horsehair gloves, when they knock you down, they can stand over you. When you get up, they punch you again.
That's right.
They
hadn't really invented the Marcus Queensberry rules at times, so you could stand over the guy instead of going to your neutral corner.
Yeah, so even like the sport of football, when you look at chop blocks and blind side hits and just all the rules that come from the past, mm-hmm. that's put in place to make it safe for the fighters and the football players of today. It's like even basketball, hand checking and stuff like that. Like, so that's why I say the sport has evolved.
Guys are getting bigger, stronger, faster, but people got to realize football, basketball to a degree when you set a pick, etc. It's a violent sport. Boxing is a violent sport.
Yeah.
You agree?
It's definitely a violent sport.
What's it like when you get hit?
I don't know. I don't know, because, when you think about it, who wants to get hit?
Right.
Like, some people like getting hit, but all in all, who really wants to get hit?
Yeah, some guys don't like to lead with their face, right, bud?
Yeah, like, you get hit, and then you get people playing with you and stuff like that and hitting you, and you be like, hey, man. They be like, man, you a boxer, man. That don't mean we don't got feelings. We don't like getting hit. It don't feel good.
That's right. Well, we're going to feel good more with Bud Crawford. We'll hold round 2 with the Budman right after this. We are back with this very special Thanksgiving edition of In Focus with somebody I used to know, the Budman, Bud Crawford. 2006 Gold Gloves, baby. I was there. I remember. What do you remember?
I remember coming up short in the finals.
Yeah.
You know, it was the start of, you know, my story.
Now, maybe we were all biased, but I thought you won.
You in the world.
Yeah. Afterwards, do you remember what you said to me?
Yeah, I said I'll be back.
That's right.
I'll be
You
back.
said you'll be back.
Yeah.
And look how far you've come. Can you believe it?
Yes. I definitely can believe it, you know, because, you know, that was in my heart. And I said, you know, they can't stop me forever. It wasn't in my cards to become a Golden Glove champion. But every Golden Glove champion, it wasn't in their cards to be Bud Crawford. Be sitting where I'm sitting. My dream was to be a world champion. My dream was to be a professional boxer. My dream never was to go to the Olympics. I told everybody that. Never was my dream. I did that because that was my coach's dream for me to make the Olympic team, because they knew it would be better for me out turning pro. But me, professional.
What does the word underdog mean to you?
I would say a person that, you know, have all the odds stacked against them.
You've said that before. I'm an underdog.
Oh, I am. You know, when you look at where I come from and the opportunities that I didn't have, that I made, I was definitely the underdog. You know, I didn't come from a hotbed of boxing in my city. I didn't come from a hotbed of coaches that coached, you know, world-class fighters that's been there and around the corner before.
You know, for me, you've always had that quiet confidence. When you achieve heights, you know, Earl Spence, Canelo, everybody else seems to be the most surprised person in the room, but not you.
Not at all, because I told them.
Right.
Anybody that would listen, you know, I told them what it was going to be, how it was going to be, and what was going to happen. So when I tell you I can do a backflip, and you say, no, I can't, and then I do a backflip, you surprised, not me.
Right.
I knew what I could do.
Right.
You didn't.
Right.
So when I showed you, now you're like, oh, he did a backflip. And I'm like, duh, I told you I could. So it's no need for me to be, you know, overjoyed or acting all surprised. That's something that I knew I could do.
You know, I've always felt that way myself. People are surprised at some of the things that I do because I don't blow my own horn. I just quietly go about my business. But I'm not surprised because I've always known I could do it. You're the same way. 2008, you make your pro debut, knockout. You remember?
Brian Cummings.
That's right.
In Denver, Colorado, 26 seconds.
Right. What'd you hit him with?
A right hook.
You remember?
I remember.
All right. Talk about some stuff that is a little touchy. You're 4-0. You get shot at. What happened?
Just the wrong place, wrong time. You know, still hanging out with the wrong set of crowds. And, you know, this guy caught in the crossfire.
But it just seems like that's kind of dogged you a little bit.
Not really. You know, it was just a wake-up call. You know, it's something that needed to happen. It's something that, you know, moved me to bigger things in life, because once that happened, of course I was mad, I was, you know, angry and things like that, but I had to sit down and, you know, look in the mirror and ask God, you know, what he really wanted out of me. And what he was trying to tell me. So when I removed myself from a lot of individuals, life just started blossoming. And at that point in time, I just knew that was the message that he was trying to send me.
But you understand now, because you're who you are. The world knows you. Everybody wants a piece of you. I've told you that. So how do you differentiate from, this guy, maybe, yeah. How? How do you know?
You don't. You never know what somebody's intentions is. You got a lot of people that's been around you for so many years.
Right.
That's still,
right.
Having mixed attentions.
It's like all of a sudden you got friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you gotta be able to, weave through all those.
It's like boxing.
Yeah, you gotta have your defense up at all times, no matter what, because the closest people to you can be the ones that hurt you the most. Family, friends, whoever you put trust into.
I'm listening to you and you're the same guy I knew all those years ago. I mean, you done growed up. I mean, you're growing up right in front of the world, right in front of me. When I see, I'm like, yeah, that's Bud. Because I always used to say to people, he has no fear. Fear is nothing, nobody. And Bud is the smartest guy in the ring.
Appreciate that.
So 2008, you turned pro. 2014, I mean, what took you so long to fight Ricky Burns? Remember that?
Well, I couldn't get the opportunity. As you know, it was a point in time in 2 years where I probably fought like 4 times.
Right.
A lot of people didn't give me the opportunity. I wasn't getting the fights. I wasn't with this big promoter.
Right.
So the opportunities was limited, and I honestly think people didn't believe in me. And if they did, they heard my backstory and, looked at me as a liability.
Yeah.
So, I think that's why it took me as long as it did.
Prescott fight. You step in with 3 days' notice. You win. Suddenly you're on the map. You win $125,000. My first question is, what'd you do with the money?
Man, that money was gone after the taxes. I had to pay them taxes, had to pay American taxes, had to pay my coaches, had to pay all my team. Man, left me with
So what'd you learn? What'd you learn?
I learned, that number ain't nothing when you break it down. A lot of people, they'll see a big number and be like, oh, man, I got all that.
Yeah, that's right. Well, to me.
And then when you start seeing deduct, I got to fight again.
Yeah.
So it was a great learning experience. And that's what got my career really moving after that fight.
That's what got people to notice. And since then, the rest is history. All the world championships, the unifications, et cetera, et cetera. Have you changed at all through this entire journey?
I've changed.
You seem smarter to me.
I was just about to say I changed in the way of growth, but not who I am as a person. I'm more smarter, I'm more mature.
Mm-hmm.
And far as me, I haven't changed.
You opened the B&B Boxing Club. What's B&B mean for me?
Bud and Bo, or Bo.
Brian McIntyre.
Yes.
B-Mac, we call him, one of your trainers.
Yes.
And you've said that in order to come to this gym, you got to have a good report card. Where does that come from?
Well, that's just something that we wanted to implement with the tutoring side of the academy. We want to make sure that the kids is really doing what they're supposed to do inside the ring and outside. So we have, people check their report cards. We offer them tutor if they're struggling.
Now, you're aware that you're a role model. Kids look up to you. They watch everything you do.
Of course. That's why I had to change my life.
Good. Jamie Nolet, Uganda. Tell me about that story.
Well, it's Uganda and Rwanda. I remember after my fight, You know, I seen her on the internet going to Africa and things like that, and I mentioned to her, I want to go. And she said, she was excited. She was like, do you? I said, yeah. She was like, all right, I'm going to take you. I was like, you is? I'm all excited. And she was like, yeah. She was like, when do you want to go? I said, in 2 weeks.
And she was your teacher?
She was my
way
first
back
grade
when?
teacher. She was like, well, we can't go in 2 weeks, but we'll go. I think we went a month later or something like that.
So why'd you go? What'd you learn?
Oh man, I just wanted to go. I always wanted to go to Africa. It's the motherland, you know. It's where we all come from, you know. And it was always a place that I want to see. So we went to Uganda and Rwanda, and I just, you know, came back humble.
You said it changed you.
Yeah, when you go there and you look and you see not just Africa, when you go to any country and you see like the struggle and the success, it's like no middle class. It's either you got money or you don't, you know. And the people that don't got money, like they suffering from like bigger things than we suffer from. But at the same time, they the happiest people on earth.
Because there's that old saying, bud, money can't buy happiness.
Yeah, at all. At all. So it's like, you're like, dang, y'all ain't even got water. Y'all walk miles every day to go to this well. She build wells, so she goes to the places that's really in need of things like water, resources, like everything. And she helps them out with her nonprofit organization.
So you've come back with a much better, bigger appreciation for where you came from, who you are, and who looks up to you.
Yeah, facts. Facts. You know, and, you know, God put us all here for a reason. You know, and you just got to look at the reason that you here.
Why are you here?
Man, I'm here to, you know, be a good father, be a good brother, be a good mentor. Teach.
Where does boxing fit in?
Boxing is just something that was used as a tool to help me prosper and take my talents to do something else with it. Boxing ain't forever, you know.
If Midge Minor were here, because I always liked Midge, because he used to give you crap all the time, what would he say? He'd be proud of you, number one.
Yeah, definitely. He'd say he'd proud of me. He'd definitely say he'd be proud of me. He'd probably be like, man, you the baddest motherfucker on earth. Ain't nobody fucking with Bud.
Because I can still see him in the corner below Mancuso Hall. Remember the smokers, Bud?
Yeah.
I can still see him in the corner. He was a good man. So when you look at your life, all that you've been through, how can you sum it up? I mean, it's a movie.
It's definitely a movie that need to be told and that need to be showed. So
Who'd play Bud Crawford?
I don't know. Maybe one of my sons or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you bringing them along in the gym?
No. They wrestle.
Oh, they wrestle.
Wrestle and play basketball.
Oh,
they
wrestle.
box. They be in the gym boxing, don't get me wrong, but that's not something that I would want for them.
Right. Well, listen, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate seeing you. You're a good man, it's Bud Crawford, man. The Bud Man, I used to call him. So
yeah, for sure.
appreciate everybody watching this very special Thanksgiving edition of In Focus. And with the Bud Man, this is yours truly. And as always, I like to say, Bud, I'll see you around town.